He doesn't need a wash. Hello lovely people, I'm Catherine and welcome to this week's Park Home Life. I don't have anything especially special for you this week, only us three. I don't know how long Fredfred will stay. I just got him on my knee. I disturbed him actually, he was asleep behind me on top of the blanket box because I did have the heating on this morning for only about an hour. It was a bit chilly when I woke up, and so he likes to sleep round there when the radiator's on. I've turned it off now because I went for a walk and I came back and I was boiling hot. So anyway, we'll see if he'll settle. So I was just going to have a little chat with you really, and a little cup of tea. I hope you're having a cup of something, or maybe you're knitting or stitching or crocheting or something else. I'm going to have a sip. Cheers. So I've got a few things to tell you about. What shall I start with? Oh yes, my woodland scroll that I showed you last Friday, the one that I made with the eco prints when I first came here. I'm just going to get a bit more comfy. Stay, you stay, so that people can see you, because they like to see you. I hope you can see him. Can you see him? Can you see him? Yes, my woodland scroll. I asked for name suggestions and I got lots and lots of lovely suggestions. And what I've decided to go with was not actually one of your suggestions, but I did think of it reading through your comments, so you helped me come to realise the name. I mentioned in the video the word topophilia, which I've read in India Flint's book Eco Colour, and I think I've heard her talk about it on her social media, which means love of the land. And so I got to thinking, someone suggested that I just simply call my scroll that, and I liked that idea. I'm going to settle down. There's a good boy. Yeah, and you're here as well. Yes, I know, you're jealous. Come on, no, I'll be really warm. Don't need central heating when you've got 2 hot water bottles. Yeah, so I thought there must be an equivalent word meaning specifically love of woods or love of woodland. I know there's dendrophile, which is love of someone who loves trees. So anyway, I had a little Google. I did think for a little while about calling it silvophilia. Now sylvan means of the woods. It's in some common plant names, including Fagus sylvatica, which is the botanical name for beech, which is one of my favourite trees. But sylvan is from a Latin root, excuse me, and philia is from a Greek root. So language nerds might be a little bit irritated by me combining the two. Although it is in common use in some words. There are words. Automobile is one, which is part Greek and part Latin. Auto is Greek, I think, and mobile is Latin. And television's another one. There are a few common words that mix Greek and Latin. But anyway, so I did think of silvophilia, which I think is quite a nice sounding word as well. But my kind of pedantic librarian brain wouldn't really let me mix. It doesn't exist as a word. I did extensively Google and I couldn't find any reference to it. It's completely made up. But there is a word which is nemophilia. Nemo as in Finding Nemo, but Nemo is a grove of trees or woodland, and it is a term in use. A nemophile is someone who loves woodland. So I thought I would call my scroll nemophilia, and I'll probably have to explain it if I exhibit it anywhere, because I don't think it's not a word that I'd heard. You have to let me know if it's a word that you were familiar with. Yeah, so that's the name for my scroll. So thank you so much to everybody who made suggestions, and you really helped me come to find the name. This Friday's video I will share making the oak spook with you, the oak spool. I am thinking, I have heard from the lady whose husband made me the ones that I showed you before, and he is in the process of making a 6-inch one for me, a bigger one. And I am thinking of making it that size because I will be involved in an exhibition next year, and I would like to include that, and that will put the pressure on me a little bit to finish it. The one Nemophilia that I just finished took just over a year from start to finish, and the exhibition's in April, so that only gives me, what's that, 5 or 6 months. So I will have to prioritise that in amongst my other stitching priorities. I keep saying and yeah, sorry. Have another sip of tea. Lubricate the wheels a little bit. Excuse me. So I don't know if, I don't want to put pressure on John, who's the guy who's turning all these lovely spools for me. I don't want to put pressure on him. Corinne, if you're watching, please don't take this as a... But if it's not here in time for me to film the video, I'll just make the spool, you know, I'll make the piece of cloth 6 inches wide and trust to luck that it will fit. So that will be next Friday's video. So what have I been doing in the last couple of weeks? I mean, obviously I've spoken to you in between in all the other various videos that we've done. We did the stitching of leaves last Monday, and the coming Monday's video I might do another kind of stitching of leaves. So yeah, I haven't done a lot. Well, I have done a lot really, I suppose. I've been to a friend's overnight because we had a lunch with some textile friends of mine, and it was like a good hour and a half away, so she kindly invited me and Stella. She's got a little cockapoo as well, so she kindly invited me and Stella to go and stay overnight so that I was there ready for the next day. Yeah, so that was lovely. Lovely lunch with like-minded people is always good, and there was some discussion about the exhibition and so on that I mentioned. I will obviously give you more details of dates and things nearer the time, those of you that are able to come. The other piece that I'm thinking I might put in, but I'm not sure, is this, which is behind me, that I've shown you before. I have been doing some stitching on it on and off. Oh, sorry, Fred. It's this, which has got the piece dyed with oat galls on the one side and the eco print from the woods on the other, and on the oak gall side I am doing the blanket stitching, you know, with the interlocking thing going round and round, and I'm getting out towards the edge and I'm using all different kind, I don't know if you can see it, it's a bit crumpled but it'll be fine, it's all on linen. And then once I've covered the whole piece with this, I'm going to go back in and do more stitching into it, and this is the piece that represents the mycorrhizal network under the woods. So it's a double-sided, it'll have to be displayed in some way so that you can see both sides. So I might include that. And I've also got that log cabin piece that I've been working on for years, that I've shown you ages ago, and the big circle with the black outline and the red heart on it. Fred, don't bite me. He bites me and then he licks me. And he's lashing his tail because I'm moving about. He wants me to just sit still so he's not disturbed. I can't now drink my tea because I don't have a hand free anymore. Yeah, so I might include one of those as well, but I'm not going to put huge pressure on myself to, you know, finish all of those. I don't think the log cabin one, in all honesty, would be finished because there's a lot of stitching still to be done on it. But anyway, we'll see. I'll keep you posted. Fred, ow! You mean? Just lay still and nice. Can I have my hand back? No, that hurts. That people are witness. People across the world are witness to you biting me. Don't care, do you? No. There. Just lay nicely. Yeah, so, what was I saying until I was rudely interrupted? Oh yes, Stella's been to the vet this week. She had it's just for her annual vaccination. She's absolutely fine, don't worry about her. The vet was very pleased with her. I just have another sip. They give her a thorough health check at the same time. You know, listen to her heart and examine her and feel her for lumps and all that. She's absolutely fine. She'll be 11 at the end of November, believe it or not. Seems like only yesterday she was just a little ball of chocolate-coloured fur, but she still runs around like a puppy and chases the ball and everything. Now she'd had a little kind of scabby thing on the back of her neck for the last few weeks, and I thought it was just a wart of some kind. It wasn't changing in size or anything, but I mentioned it to the vet while I was there, Now, if you're squeamish, you might want to put your fingers in your ears now while I just tell you. And the vet took one look and said, "Oh, I can tell you what that is." She said, "It's a blackhead." She said, "Well, there's a technical term for it, but it's basically a blackhead or a zit." I said, "I didn't know dogs could get them." And then, yeah, this here, put your fingers in your ears if you're squeamish. She just squeezed it, the vet, and all this stuff came out, and then she swabbed it with some disinfectant, you know, antiseptic of some kind, and now it's absolutely fine, as if it was never there. So who knew? Dogs get zits. Yeah, it was a bit yucky. But yeah, so she's fine. She's had a lovely couple of weeks. Like I said, we went to visit my friend with the other cockapoo, and we had some lovely walks together where she lives, near a river, and there's fields and everything behind where she lives. And what else? Oh yeah, yesterday a friend of mine was going to come over after Stella had been to the vet. Don't bite Stella. Good boy. And unfortunately she woke up feeling poorly, just coldy and sniffly and what have you, so she cancelled. So I hadn't made any plans for the day because I planned to spend the day with my friends, so I decided that we'd go for a walk. So we went to Stella Head. Now I did think of doing some filming for you, but I didn't for two reasons. One was it was super busy, which I was quite surprised at, you know, on a midweek. But I guess the trees are starting to turn, and it's, you know, it's very beautiful. So maybe that's what brought people out. It wasn't super weather. The weather's not really been one thing or another the last few days, and friends who live elsewhere in the country have said the same. It's kind of just gloomy weather, you know. It's not windy, it's not sunny, it's not rainy, it's just grey. And I saw somewhere going by that's, I mean, I sort of knew that's quite common here, having lived here most of my life. But it's something to do with anticyclones and what have you at this time of year, that the weather just settles in, you know, low cloud and a bit damp. But anyway, that's the weather. Can't do anything about it. I don't mind it really, you know, it's just the same for days and days rather than a change. That makes sense. So yeah, so we went to Stour Head. If you want to see Stour Head, there is a video, I think, from about last year, about this time last year, me walking around Stour Head and taking you with me. But yeah, like I said, it was really busy, and yeah, I thought since you've already seen it, it's... So yeah, so I didn't film it. That's the bottom line. But we had a lovely walk round. I had a cup of coffee and a sausage roll. It's not my favourite thing, but there wasn't anything else. Well, there's a kiosk and there's a cafe restaurant, and the queue was absolutely miles long, and I was really hungry, and I'd planned to have some lunch there, and so I went to the kiosk, and that was all they had basically. So it was okay, but you know, it's not my favourite thing to eat really. I'm not vegetarian. I do prefer to eat vegetarian, but yeah, anyway. It was what it was. It was food. Yeah. So there was that. What else have I done? I went to my friend Chrissy, who many of you have been here for a long time will know. I've talked about her a lot. She was the lovely friend who put me up and put up with me when I first moved back from France. And she's got a lovely big studio, the basement of our house. The entire basement is a studio, basically. And another friend of ours, who's a textile colleague in the group that we're members of, is also an eco-printer, but she eco-prints in a slightly different way to me. And we discussed it a little bit. She was on the retreat that I went on, the Slow Stitch retreat, a few weeks ago. And we discussed a little bit that it would be nice to get together and both share our methods, you know, just compare and contrast kind of thing. So we went to Chrissy's and we did it there because that was sort of halfway for both of us. She lives up north somewhere. Well, not up north, but Gloucestershire, I think, you know, further north than me. So we had a lovely day. She shared her processes and I shared my processes, and we sort of bounced off each other, which was wonderful because I've kind of fine-tuned a couple of things in my own process, you know, working with her. I think that's lovely if you can get to work with someone that does the same thing as you, and you know, bounce ideas off each other, like I say, and compare your methods. Yeah, so that was really interesting and great fun, and we're hoping to squeeze another day in before all the leaves finally go, because she could only do sort of a short day. I think she had to go at about 1 or 2ish because she was going off somewhere in the afternoon. So yeah, so we're hoping for a rematch before the last leaves fall. Another sip. What else have I done? Well, I had the workshops. I've talked about those in different videos. I talked about the eco printing workshop, and I got really anxious beforehand. And yeah, it was lovely. The actual day was wonderful, and I've had a couple of messages from people afterwards saying how much they enjoyed it and that they've gone on to do more and so on. So I don't know what I got in a state about. Sometimes there's no reason for these things, is there? It happens to many of us, I know. And then I had my first slow stitch workshop, and I made the scroll video after following on from that to maybe include you all a little bit in what we did that day. And that was just wonderful. I mean, that really felt like coming home. When I left England in 2017 to go to France, one of the saddest things to leave behind, you know, apart from friends and so on, was my group of slow stitchers that met once a month in the local arts centre. So it was lovely to have that back again, and a few of them were people who had come to that group as well. So that was lovely, that I haven't been forgotten. And that will be, there's another one the first Wednesday in November and another one the first Wednesday in December, and hopefully going forward into the new year it will become a regular thing for those that want to. So yeah, that's a lovely thing. The other thing I've been thinking about, I know we're still only in October, but I have been thinking about next year's project. So this year obviously we're working on the coverlet of comfort, some of us. Last year we did the stitch journal, again some of us. All those videos are still there if you're interested. There's an entire playlist of the slow stitch journal from last year. And the coverlet of comfort videos will remain up. I don't take them down. You know, they're there for as long as YouTube exists, however long that may be. But yeah, so I'm not going to give anything away really too much, only to say that next year there will be another year-long project. It won't be a huge thing like the coverlet. It'll be more individual things, but more in line with the stitch journal, but different. It won't be a stitch journal, but more along those lines of a weekly thing. And yeah, I've been thinking when I've been driving various places or lying in bed, sometimes I wake up early in the morning and, you know, things start going around in my brain. Maybe things I don't want to go around in my brain, so to distract myself, I think about things like the project for us all to do together next year, which is a lovely thing to think about, and that's when some ideas come. So yeah, so just be assured that if you are interested, excuse me, or maybe you've joined us part way the year and you didn't want to do the coverlet because we were already, you know, in progress, then there will be a brand new shiny project next year, starting in January. So yeah, there's that to look forward to. And I think I'm going to really include you all a little bit as well in the planning of it. I'm being a bit cryptic, I know. I mean, not that I won't plan it myself and guide you, of course I will, but there might be some kind of feedback situation going on, is what I'm thinking. So I'll do things and you respond, and then I'll respond to your responses. I'm thinking along those lines. So I hope that has piqued your interest, as they say. I'm going to have another sip of tea. Fredfred settled down quite nicely, but his tail's still twitching a little bit at the end. It's possibly because I'm talking. I do love him, but he's a real tyrant sometimes. I don't even know if you can see him now. I'll see when I edit. But anyway, he's here on my knee if you can't. What was I saying? Next year's project. I've talked about that. I've talked about my exhibition. Talked about going to... Oh yes, camping. I haven't been camping again. I was hoping to, but I was poorly, as many of you know. I've mentioned it. Well, I looked poorly in a couple of videos ago, I think. You saw me looking poorly. It was just a cold. It started off, I had a bit of a temperature in the beginning and upset tummy, but it was something and nothing really. But I still do feel a bit sort of not 100%. I mean, I'm fine. I'm, you know, functioning and fine and everything. I have no symptoms really, and I don't know if it's just a bit of tiredness left over from that because I didn't sleep very well for maybe a week, or if it's just because of the weather and the change in the seasons, who knows. But anyway, I didn't think it was a good idea to go camping because it has been quite chilly, and also it hasn't been clear skies. I think if it was super cold and clear skies, I would go, because I want to go to this campsite that I talked about when we did the Following the Dinosaur video, the Park Home Life, where we followed the dinosaur. I'm really looking forward to going there, but I want to go and, you know, have this idea of with the fire pit and looking at the stars, and so going when it's dull, I don't know, I just haven't had the urge. Having said that, every time I get in my car is, all my camping stuff is permanently in my car, really, because I don't have anywhere else to keep it, one reason, and the other reason is then I can just go on a whim. So I've got my tent and my blow-up mattress and my little chair and my camping cooker and my camping pots and pans and plates, and, you know, everything is in the car except my the food that I would need to take, and things that I use here as well. So I can, you know, in half an hour I can be packed up and gone. It wouldn't require a great deal of effort. So who knows when I'll go. I might even go this afternoon. No, I don't think I will. I think I'm just trying to be sensible. I don't want to make myself ill again. So I think sometimes you do have to be a bit sensible. But Joey is coming, my son Joey is coming next week for 10 days in total, but he is going to go and see a couple of different friends at different times, so he won't be here the whole time. But I'm hoping with him that maybe I can go camping. And if it's really cold or not nice weather, we might do one of those shepherd's huts that I talked about, just as a little mini break. But we'll see, you know, we'll see how we feel. I haven't booked them yet. They don't get booked up at this kind of time of year, I wouldn't imagine. Certainly not in the middle of the week, so we'll see. But if we do that, of course, I will do some filming and show you and take you with us. So I don't know if I've got anything else to say. Oh yes, the garden. I was going to show you the garden, but to be honest, I haven't really done a lot other than keep it tidy. Things are starting to die back. I did a bit of deadheading yesterday afternoon, actually, when I came back from the walk. What have you got there? What have you got in your ear? Just a little mat. I'll get it out later. I'll just work at it with my fingers. You know, her fur sometimes gets in little mats, although she was clipped last week, so... What is it? No, I'll fiddle with it and see if I can untangle it. I don't think it's a seed. You have to be careful at this time of year with dogs with grass seeds and things, because some of them, especially those sort of long spiky things, I've heard that they can work their way even into their skin. I was worried for a while that that thing on her neck that I talked about, I'm not going to say the squeamish part again, was a grass seed, but I could feel that there was nothing in there. But anyway, it obviously wasn't. Yeah, so I do check her if we've been in fields or anything. Ticks, there aren't really ticks around here. If I took her up on the moors, then I would check her for ticks, although she does have a monthly tablet that's supposed to protect her from those and fleas and, you know, other parasites. Yeah, so the garden, but I haven't done anything out the front further. You know, I talked about ages ago, if you watched that I was going to turn over the grass, and I turned over a little bit and put some shrubs there in the autumn. Well, I just haven't got round to it, and, you know, it's fine, it's grass, I just keep it mown, it'll happen. If it doesn't happen now, then maybe I will, through the winter, get it turned over and then plant in the spring. Another sip of tea, excuse me. But, you know, my garden's nice, it continues to give me joy. I took the last of the tomato plants away and picked the last of the tomatoes because they were starting to all split, you know, and go all, start getting little black blighty spots on them. but a whole drawer in my freezer is full of tomatoes, and I've eaten loads, so they have been brilliant this year. And was there something else I wanted to tell you? Oh yes, something that I've just discovered or been taught about, which I didn't know before, so I pass it on. Maybe you already all know about it and I'm the only one who didn't. It's nothing major, but I just thought it was nice. When I stayed with my friend, it was the evening, we had our evening meal and we cleared the table and so on, and she said, "Oh, I'm going to do overnight oats, shall I make you some?" And I said, "What's overnight oats?" And probably now lots of you are going, "Oh yeah, we do that." I'd never heard of it. So if you hadn't heard of it either, it was absolutely delicious. I'll talk you through it. You can Google and there's umpteen recipes online, I'm sure, but I'll just tell you what she did. She put some rolled oats, just, you know, the normal rolled oats, not the quick oats or anything like that, in a pot. And we had a little pot each, me and her husband. And then she did put some chia seeds and a little bit of milk of different kinds. She had oat milk or almond milk, I think. Can't remember. But whatever milk it is that you use. And some yoghurt. You don't have to do yoghurt, but she did some, I think it was Greek yoghurt. And then a spoonful each of almond butter. I do believe you could use peanut butter if you wanted to. And I think that's optional as well. And I think that was all she put in overnight. And then the next day she chopped some fresh fruit onto it. I think it was apple and grapes. And we sprinkled some granola on the top. You wouldn't put the granola overnight because you want it to stay crunchy. And some honey, I think. You could also use maple syrup or something if you wanted it a bit sweeter. And you can do all kinds of variations on that, but it was absolutely delicious. I mean, I eat porridge a lot at this time of year. The clock's now going to chime 12, so I'll talk on. Yeah, and I just have rolled oats and hot milk, you know, and cook them for a minute or two till the oats soften. And then I'll often just put honey on them, or sometimes some fruit or something. But yeah, this was just a really nice breakfast that was healthy and substantial, you know, kept you going through till lunchtime. So I'm just passing that on if you don't know. Overnight oats. Please let me know if you've heard of it before, and maybe I'm the only one who hasn't. Sometimes these things just pass you by, don't they? Yeah, so that was it, I think. That was the other thing I was wanting to tell you. So I'm just going to spend the next few days, I haven't got any appointments to see anybody or go out anywhere, so I'm just going to make a couple of videos in advance for when Joey's here. I'll make the oat spool video, I'll make Monday's journaling video, like I said again, probably with fallen leaves in a different way, and the coverlet of comfort for Wednesday. And yeah, just have some quiet times, little daily walks in between, chats with the children on the phone. Yeah, I'm absolutely fine, quite content with Fredfred and Stella. I'm now going to have to disturb Fredfred to get up to stop the phone from recording so that I can edit this video for you. But anyway, I hope that was a nice visit. Sorry there was nothing particularly special, but sometimes it's just me wittering, and I don't think you mind that. And thank you so much for watching and keeping me company in my park home life. Lots of love and kisses. See you soon. Bye bye.